Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome you to the the Saturday edition of this Cricket Happening show with the news that India. I would say that probably the speculation was rife as to it's a greenish tinge pitch, and Sri Lanka decided to go with a four-pronged pace attack. But finally, the Indians had a very good start. In fact, they put up the record start in Sri Lanka by a visiting team when Shikhar Dhawan and Rahul combined into a wonderful opening partnership of 188 runs, and that's a record for a visiting team. An opening stand of 188 is a record in Sri Lanka by any visiting team. And also, Rahul went on to notch up his 750, equaling the world record of consecutive 50s in Test cricket, which I would be looking at the names or probably calling the names there over there. But just to tell you that India started off in a blaze, I would say, but Sri Lankan bowlers fought back in a wonderful manner. From a 188 run partnership, India closed at 329 for 6. So that will give you an idea as to how the Sri Lankan bowlers fought back splendidly. The spinners in particular, Malinda Pushpakumara, and 329 for 6 was the score for India at stumps, with Shikhar Dhawan notching up his sixth Test century and his second of the series. And Rahul, as I said, went to a stupendous record at such a young age, which is great to see. And as far as other cricket is concerned, the Caribbean Premier League saw a record being equalled yesterday. As you know, the other day, Darren Sammy slammed 60 in a losing course of 23 balls, in the sense 50 of 23 balls, which was a record. And yesterday that was equalled by Colin Munro, who actually, for the Knight Riders, Trinbago Knight Riders, made 70 not out. He smashed the ball to all parts of the ground as he equaled Darren Sammy's record of a 23 ball 50 in a wonderful manner, swinging a lot of sixes down the leg side. And Shadab Khan produced brilliant bowling figures of 4 wickets for 28 runs as they actually went on to win against the Amazon Warriors. And the Guyana Amazon Warriors are still to get off the mark in this Caribbean Premier League 2017. And also we have a look at some cricket news. But the focus definitely is going to be on this particular match as I'm talking about, which is India. And also we'll have a look at the West Indies versus Derbyshire, which has been interrupted by rain, which saw one more century coming in today from the bat of Roston Chase. But let's get on to the first day's play report on this final Test match. As I said, reports were arrived that the Pallekele pitch is going to be a greenish tinge pitch, and it's going to help the bowlers. And one was really looking at the Sri Lankan pace combination, which consisted of they decided to go not with a four-pronged pace attack. In fact, they went with a two-pronged pace attack. In fact, Vishwa Fernando and Lairo Kumara were the ones who actually were given an opportunity here. But I thought Lairo Kumara and India actually decided to have Mohammad Shami, Umesh Yadav was expected, and Kuldeep Yadav was selected. So Hardik Pandya is the other one who will be chipping in with in the pace department. And it all started off with one was really keenly looking as to how this inexperienced opening pair, which has probably played even lesser than 5 Test matches, Lairo Kumara and Vishwa Fernando, would handle this. Yes, they definitely struggled on a greenish tinge pitch, I reckon. Because Shikhar Dhawan and Rahul really got into their groove right away, with lot of loose stuff served by the Sri Lankan pace bowlers, the opening bowlers, the inexperienced bowlers, Vishwa Fernando and Lairo Kumara, the youngster. And both sprayed the ball, and Shikhar Dhawan and Rahul took full toll of the poor bowling that was offered to them, with Shikhar Dhawan playing the cut shot to great effect, and KL Rahul, anything which was short, was disappearing to the boundary. And both were really caning this very loose Sri Lankan bowlers as runs were cascading from the blade of Dhawan and Rahul, and it was good to see Dhawan and Rahul really get into the element. And in fact, after that they brought the Dimut Karnaratne into the attack, and Dimut Karnaratne, well, he definitely got a few edges to fly off the bat of Shikhar Dhawan. In fact, Sri Lanka took almost like 40 overs to actually get their spinners into the action, which was surprising a bit, I would say, considering that the pace bowlers were not making any impression. But probably Dinesh Chandimal, the Sri Lankan skipper, was thinking that at some point of time, Vishwa Fernando and Lairu Kumra would start making an impact on this greenish tinge pitch, but it was not to be. Malinda Pushpa Kumara was the one who started it, and then we saw KL Rahul go on to equal the record for the most consecutive 50s, 7 consecutive 50s. This was his 7th consecutive 50 in Test cricket at such a young age, and he joined some very big names like the former West Indian player Everton Weeks, Shivnara and Chandrapal of West Indies, and there were a few other players too, which I would like to mention. Probably you can look at it on my Twitter page where I will be tweeting about it. But he joined some 7 big names in the cricketing fraternity as this was his 7th consecutive 50. Shikhar Dhawan was also playing well, and both were also playing the spinners very well by using their feet superbly to the spinners, as they were really driving them well. They were lofting them down the ground as this was going on, and finally this partnership started blossoming into something which was becoming a big pain for the Sri Lankans, and it did, as the Shikhar Dhawan and KL Rahul frustrated the Sri Lankan bowlers by putting a record opening stand by a visiting team in Sri Lanka of 188 runs. And then finally it was KL Rahul was the first victim. He definitely deserved a century, as he had gone on to 85 with 8 boundaries, as Malinda Pushpakumara actually forced KL Rahul to play a forceful shot trying to go over the mid-on region. Karnaratne snapped up the catch. He was gone for 85. There was a big relief on the Sri Lankans' face, as it took almost like, if you look at it, 40 overs to get their first breakthrough, as KL Rahul was gone for 85. Cheteshwar Pujara came in, and all eyes were on Cheteshwar Pujara because he is another one who has been very prolific in this series, and Shikhar Dhawan, on the other hand, was going great guns at the time by playing some wonderful strokes. Well, as that was going on and the score started moving, with Shikhar Dhawan also notching up his 6th Test century, now Shikhar Dhawan tried to sweep a delivery from Malinda Pushpakumara, which he tried to sweep it, and he swept it, and in fact Chandimal was the one who picked up the catch at square leg, and Dhawan was gone after making his 2nd century of the series, 119 with 17 superbly timed boundaries. Cheteshwar Pujara and Virat Kohli at the crease, and then Lakshan Sandakan was pressed into action. Lakshan Sandakan actually forced Pujara to actually go and edge a ball from Sandakan, which he edged it on to Matthews, and Pujara was dismissed cheaply for 8, and that was a big relief for the Sri Lankans, because Pujara was haunting the Sri Lankans in this particular series. Pujara was gone. Caught Matthews bowled Sandakan for 8, and that made the score 229 for 3. Virat Kohli was joined in by Ajinkya Rahane at that time, and Virat Kohli, one was really looking on, because Virat Kohli, as you know, has not been in some good form. He has been struggling in this particular Test series, I would say, and one was really waiting to see what Virat Kohli could come up with. Virat Kohli definitely was tested by the Sri Lankan bowlers, especially Vishwa Fernando, actually started getting the ball he started bowling outside the off stump, tempting Kohli to have a drive at it, where Kohli probably is a bit susceptible, one could say. And Virat Kohli was definitely resisting the temptation, and that was really, it was a good spell, I thought, from Vishwa Fernando, who was really testing Virat Kohli outside the off stump. But in the meanwhile, as that was going on, Pushpa Kumara, who was on a real roll after picking up 2 wickets, after providing the much needed breakthrough for the Sri Lankans, picked up the wicket of Ajinkya Rahane by getting him clean bowled for 17 with 1 boundary. So that made the score 264 for 4. Virat Kohli was joined in by Ravichandran Ashwin, but then Sandakan was bowling very well. He forced, he was actually bowling on the eye line, I would say, Sandakan, and he got one of those deliveries to actually dip in, and Virat Kohli, trying to play the cut shot, ended up in a top edging the ball to Karunaratne at slip, and Kohli was a goner for 42 with 3 boundaries. Ashwin was joined in by Riddhiman Saha. Ashwin tried to bide his time at the crease as the Sri Lankan bowlers were really fighting back. After the 188 run partnership, the Indians were reduced to 296 for 5. Riddhiman Saha and Ashwin slowly biding their time at the crease, as they knew that they needed to really go and resurrect the situation. But Ravichandran Ashwin got a wonderful delivery from Fernando. What a delivery! The ball actually pitched in, and it took away. Ashwin actually played into the hands of Dikwala. It was a one-handed stunning catch which was taken by Niroshan Dikwala behind the stumps. He bowled the ball which actually angled away, and it went with the angle, and Ashwin followed it, and Dikwala picked up a one-handed stunner behind the stumps as Ashwin slowly walked back to the pavilion for 31 with 1 boundary. And at close of play, India, definitely I would say the Sri Lankans took the honours, even though India took the honours in the first session of play with that 188 run partnership. I thought the Sri Lankan bowlers fought wonderfully back, a wonderful fight back by the Sri Lankan bowlers to have the Indians at 329 for 6 on day 1 of this final test match. Riddhiman Saha was not out on 13, Hardik Pandya was not out on 1, and thus India ended with 329 for 6. But as I said, due credit to the Sri Lankan bowlers for putting up a brilliant fight back here. As far as the bowling was concerned, Vishwa Fernando looked good in patches. 19 overs, 2 maiden, 68 runs and 1 wicket. Lairu Kumara, 15 overs, 1 maiden, none for 67. I thought he could have bowled much better than that on a pitch. I thought the Fernando and Kumara actually, they wasted the new ball. India won the toss and Kohli elected to bat. And I thought the Sri Lankan bowlers definitely wasted the new ball. Karunaratne, 4 overs, none for 23. Dhawan Pereira, 8 overs, 1 maiden, none for 36. Sandakan bowled well, 25 overs, 2 maidens, 84 runs and 2 wickets. Malinda Pushpa Kumara was the pick of the bowlers today. Splendid bowling from Pushpa Kumara. 18 overs, 2 maidens, 40 runs and 3 wickets. Got some drift, I would say. And the pitch, I can say that there is a slow turn available on the pitch as well, as one could really discern. India probably might be missing Jadeja as this particular match progresses, probably, but they still have Kuldeep Yadav in their ranks, who definitely, to me, could prove a real surprise packet for the Sri Lankans. The other match that I would like to talk about is the 9th match of the Caribbean Premier League that was played, and the 9th match of the Caribbean Premier League was played with the Guyana Amazon Warriors between Trinbago Knight Riders. The Guyana Amazon Warriors actually really struggled. They struggled against the bowling of Trinbago Knight Riders bowler Leggy Shadab Khan. 4 overs, no maiden, 28 runs and 4 wickets. Sunil Narine did a wonderful job, 4 overs 2 for 16. Kevon Cooper, 4 overs 1 for 19. Bravo was the one who got a bit of tap, 4 overs cost him 37. Freiling bowled 1 over 22. He was smashed all across the park by Chadwick Walton, to my knowledge, and 3 overs for 29 for Peary. So let's have a look at, Chadwick Walton was the one who smashed Freiling for 22 runs in 1 over. Walton made 36 of 23, 1 4, 4 sixes. Martin Guptill 24 of 14 deliveries, 2 fours and 2 sixes. Was really thrusting the spinners. But then Shadab Khan really was someone who was very difficult to deal with. Babar Azam making 2, Jason Mohammed 13 of 16, 1 4, G Singh made 7, Primus was making his debut and looked impressive with the bat, 23 of as many balls with 2 fours and 1 6, Sohail Tanveer 11, Paul was not out on 14 of 7, Emrit not out 11, and the Trinbago Knight Riders were given a target of 157 to win the match, but Sohail Tanveer gave them a very big breakthrough when he dismissed Brendan McCullum for a blob of the very first ball, which was a grand start for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. Sunil Narine definitely struggled. He was not given much of a wit. They really started bowling into his body. He made 23 of 20, but Colin Munro smashed it all across the park. He equaled the record of Darren Sammy, 50 of just 23 deliveries, and finally he was there to take them to victory with an unbeaten 70 of just 47 deliveries, 5 fours and 5 sixes. Darren Bravo made 17. Primus got his maiden wicket here of 21, 1 4 and 1 6. Ramadhan nurtured them. Ramadhan also played with lots of aggression, which was good to see. Unbeaten 42 of 23 deliveries, 3 fours and 3 sixes. The bowling, as far as the Guyana Amazon Warriors, so Trinbago Knight Riders winning the match, and Guyana Amazon Warriors yet to get off the mark in the Caribbean Premier League 2017. Sohail Tanveer 1 for 34 of 3. Jacobs, the spinner off-break bowler, 4 overs 1 for 31. Ryan Emmerich 4 overs 42. Rashid Khan did his job, but there were too few runs to defend, I reckon. 4 overs none for 18, and Primus 4 overs 1 for 34. So that was and Colin Munro for a smashing innings of 70 was named man of the match. And Colin Munro, I can say, is in some great form right now, and you can't trifle with this bloke, I would say, because he really hits the ball hard. He hits it high, he hits it handsome. As far as other cricket news is concerned, looking at other cricket news that is happening around the cricketing world, one is speculation is going on as Otis Gibson could be the new coach of the South African team. Other than that, as I said, Derbyshire, the West Indies today declaring the innings closed at 427 for 3. They had another centurion. Yesterday it was Kyle Hope. Today it was Roxton Chase going on to a century, which enabled the West Indians to declare at 427 for 3, and Derbyshire currently are 7 for no loss. As far as other cricket news is concerned, well, there's not much to really talk about. That's about it. Normally, well, I can just share something here. Essex are doing very well in the NatWest 2020 Blast, as Ravi Bopara and Mohammad Amir bowled some splendid spells to actually keep their team in the hunt for the qualifications. Dickinson, Cameron Dickinson, has been really proving his mettle here in this NatWest T20 Blast, as he went on to set up Hampshire's 6-wicket win over Kent. This is the second consecutive knock from Dickinson. He looked very impressive. He made a 24 ball, 51 runs, which is good to see. And as far as the other match is concerned, Sussex definitely did their chances a lot of good here when they had a very good victory, a 5-wicket victory for Sussex against Gloucestershire at home. With this very little cricket updates, this is about time for your host Ram to sign off on this cricket show, but promising you that tomorrow, that's on a Sunday, you can keep your ears tuned to this daily cricket show of mine, which will be giving you the second day's play report of the final test match between India and Sri Lanka, which is being played at Palakiri. Till such time, this is your host Ram signing off this on a Saturday.